Hey, what's going on, guys? It is 8:58 at night on a Monday, and today we'll talk to you about the new HBO show Chernobyl and what it has to do with podcasting. So I just finished up a series maybe 2 nights ago, and awesome show. HBO always puts out the best stuff. And what the show is about is basically about Chernobyl, which was a nuclear reactor, I believe, producing nuclear energy. Back in 1986, I believe, there was a big explosion, and the reactor basically blew up and basically was spewing out radiation everywhere. And this was very serious because people were getting sick and dying. Like if you were within, I think the town over, you died within like months. If you were right there on the site, like a lot of the firefighters that were responding to Chernobyl, which is based on a true story, or which is a true story, by the way. If you're a firefighter that was there fighting the fire that night, you end up dying like a week later. So lots of radiation spewing out. A lot of people getting hurt. A lot of people dying. And it was a big deal, right? Because this was the USSR, I guess Soviet Union at the time. It would believe it was in the Ukraine. I think maybe 50 miles north of Kiev in the Ukraine where this happened. And they really wanted to get a handle on this, right? Because there's a big fires going on. The fire wasn't put out right away. It was spewing out radiation everywhere. Everyone was dying that was coming in contact with it, and it was a big issue because as until they covered up the reactor site, the entire site basically, radiation was spreading. So it was going to get as bad. I think if it went for months, it would get as bad as affecting over 1 million people. Like 1 million people could die or have like serious problems, serious health problems, spreading throughout all of Europe and all through Russia. So a big issue that they were trying to solve. And it was, of course, the health. So they need to solve this quickly, right? Because the Union did not want the world to know about it. They actually tried to keep it a secret. They didn't want to tell anyone about it. They tried to hide it from the media, try to downplay it within the media and inside the Soviet Union because they didn't want news spreading around the world that the Soviet Union did not know how to run their nuclear program and was weak from that regard. Because this is an arms race. This is a Cold War going on, lots of nuclear race going on at that time. So they didn't want to appear weak. But on top of that, of course, millions of lives were at risk. Millions of people could die from this, so they needed to rush and hurry up and solve this problem. So the issue though was that they could not get humans in there to solve it, right? Because people are dying. If they're going close to it, they're dying, right? They're like dying within days, weeks, months at least, or have serious problems. So they had this issue that they needed to solve, but they didn't have a solution for it. And there was a meeting. There's a scene in the show where they're meeting with all the heads of the states, with Gorbachev, who was the leader of the Soviet Union at the time, and one of the top leaders was saying so they put together a cleanup crew to try to solve this problem, to cover it all up and save all these lives. And the two folks from the cleanup crew that were leading the cleanup crew came into that meeting, and the administration basically said, "What do you need? Anything you need, we'll give it to you." They basically ready to write a blank check. So they started trying to solve the problem, right? They started doing things like trying to dump sand all with helicopters, and dump boron, which is another chemical, all over the nuclear plant that now exploded, right? They tried to cover up the entire thing that way. They ended up getting lunar rovers to try to clean up some of the mess and kind of push it onto one pile so they can cover it all up. And then they even did something where they had humans going in to pick up radiation, equipment that was kind of tainted by radiation, and throwing into a pit so they can cover it all up, because anything that's exposed to the air could have been spread by the wind. So a piece of material, a piece of metal that had radiation, it was out in the open, the wind came by, blew a lot of radiation, I guess particles that could kill people. So they even had humans coming in to do this, but they could only do 90 seconds at a time. They had only 90 seconds to pick it up and throw it into the pit, and had to leave. Otherwise, they spend too much time there. Anything above 90 seconds could be fatal, or it could be endangering their health. So that was a plan. They kept on trying. They had a blank check. They had everyone focused on this. They had 100% focus, right? Because the nuclear explosion, the whole world is watching. Millions of lives are at risk. Everyone's focused on trying to solve this problem. And in the end, I think they had like 750,000 people they mobilized in the Soviet Union to solve this problem. And they end up solving it. They end up solving it by getting all these people involved and putting it all together. I think tens of thousands of people still died. The official count is, I guess the true count is unknown. But I believe like people are estimating between like 10 to 80,000 people died from this, but it could have been millions, But they had the whole country, the whole Soviet Union focused on trying to solve this problem. So what this has to do with podcasting is that when a problem like that is so in your face, it's easy to focus on trying to solve it. Right? It's easy to focus your attention, easy to focus all your efforts, easy to focus all your resources on trying to solve that problem. But when it's not as clear in your face and you're just kind of living your life comfortably, you're not going to be able to notice the problem as strongly. And there might be a day where you want to start a podcast because you want to build a business or you have a message to spread. You want to build an audience so you can market your business to them. And then at that point, you're going to want to know what are all the resources, what are all the tools I can throw at this to build my podcast. And that's what I started Podcasting Secrets for. So I want to give you all the tools. I want to give all the tools that I wish existed when I first started my podcast. I want to get all the tools and essentially almost have like a blank check on what I need to know to launch, grow, and monetize my podcast. So that's all that's included in Podcasting Secrets. So one day, and it'll probably be someday soon, where you realize, oh, okay, I want to start a podcast, but I don't know where to begin. I don't know what tools to use. I don't know what I can use at my disposal. I don't know how to focus what attention I should focus on what. I don't know how to begin. That's why I put together Podcasting Secrets. And you can grab it over at podcastingsecretscourse.com and hope to see you inside. So, again, the big lesson was that if a problem is right in your face, easy to solve. What is not right in your face, but you have to solve it at some point, you're going to need to know all the pieces. And that's what's in Podcasting Secrets. Grab it right now at podcastingsecretscourse.com. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.